What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting live episode of Fix My List. Happy Thursday, everyone.
That's right. This one's live. John and I were away at WTC for quite some time. Felt like forever, but it was objectively only about a week. But we're back. So we pre-recorded a bunch of stuff. There was Fix My List Xenos and Fix My List Imperium, I believe. But we are on the Emperor's Finest, the Space Marines, today.
Oh, I'm so excited. Space Marines always make me happy. And when I am happiest about Space Marines is when they are good, but not, like, obviously broken.
Good, but not good.
Yeah, no. Just the good.
One good.
Not the good.
No, not two goods. Absolutely. One good is enough good for me.
Alright, so if you're watching this for the first time, let's tell you what Fix My List is. This is our weekly live episode where Jack and myself, or Jack and someone else, sit down and break down 3 community-submitted lists. And those 3 lists that the users submit, well, we fix them. We take lists from our valuable community members and we try to optimize them, tweak them, improve them, do whatever we can to make them more competitively viable.
That's right. So we're going to go through. I picked 3 lists out. And we're going to go through and we're going to apply, basically how would we go over our own lists? Mm-hmm. And then using that process, it can help you go over your lists personally. This is not necessarily about helping 3 people with their lists as much as it is demonstrating a list development process for all of you fine viewers.
Absolutely. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I want to get my list fixed, understandable. My lists often need fixing too, and I bug Jack about it all the time. But what you should do...
Not the direction that usually goes.
Yeah, that's true. But what you should do is you should sign up for our Discord. You can do that by either becoming a member of the War Room on our website, thewarroom.vhx.tv, where you can sign up for a free trial, or you can go to our YouTube channel, which you're probably on right now. Like this video, share with your friends, leave a comment, but most importantly, subscribe. And if you become a member, you'll get access to our Discord channel. In there's a Fix My List submission channel, which, drumroll please, is where you submit lists.
Unsurprisingly.
All right, and Jack, how do we pick these lists?
So I go through unilaterally, as a god might, selecting those I wish to save and those I wish to damn.
Technically not inaccurate.
Sure, something like that. I just go through and I look for 3 interesting lists that fit the theme, things that we can learn from. If the list is too good, I do not select it. So if your list has not been selected, there's a very minor chance it is too good or too streamlined to fix. Usually if I see a list like that, I will give it a gold star and move on. But I generally pick lists that I think are interesting or have something going for them that we can really flesh out.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and dive into this first one. You have picked an interesting one here. Of course, the theme of today's episode is power armor, and most importantly, it is loyal.
That's right. There's
no chaos space.
This one is the most loyal, you could say. The Black Templars, the Righteous Crusaders by Mirage or Jason. It's not really clear. All right. Do you want to read the list and I will look up any comments?
Absolutely. So this is the Black Templar Righteous Crusaders detachment. So not Gladius. We're doing the Righteous Crusaders. First up, we have a Justiciar. This guy is just him. Then there's a Justiciar with Perdition's Edge, which is Perdition's Edge, which I assume is some kind of relic weapon to make him chop harder.
I believe so, yeah. We'll look it up when we actually get to the list, but off the top of my head, I believe it's like plus strength.
Some 15 points enhancement here.
It gives you a little buff, and then if you're in the right oath, it gives you a bigger buff.
Ooh, nice. A Primaris Chaplain, and then a Primaris Tech Marine with Witchseeker Bolts. 6 Blade Guard Veterans. 6 more Blade Guard Veterans. 10 Sword Brethren, with, I assume, the full panoply of random weapons they get. 2
Thunderhammers, 7 power weapons, 2 plasma pistols, a combi weapon, a mastercrafted power weapon, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. Then we've got 1 Land Raider, just stock, a Land Raider Redeemer, and we close the list out with 3 Predator Annihilators, making this a little bit of a tank list.
Yeah, those are the las cannon ones.
Okay. So is this just like 2 las cannons and a twin las cannon?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. 2 las cannons, a Predator twin las cannon, and then a Hunter killer missile, etc. Mm-hmm. It's not bad. It's fine. For 130, 130. Anyway, the notes of the list are, hey, Jack Harpster, John Lennon, and Quentin Johnson. Hope you are all well. Always a blast watching you guys put together some very cool concepts and executing at an extremely high level. Flattery will get you far. Looking for some insight into a Templars list I'm working on. Note would rather have Lancers, but due to scarcity, leaning on Predators for similar firepower. Outside of that, go nuts.
Ooh. Okay. So Black Templars, no Lancers.
Does not have Lancers, but other than that, go nuts.
But does he have Black Templar Lancers?
Black Templar Lancers are not bad.
Yeah, it's a totally different kit, but also probably doesn't have them.
No, they are very expensive.
They really are.
They're incredibly expensive.
Well, they're $0 because they're out of stock, like everywhere.
Sure. Or you take a Lancer and you take a Multi-Melta and you just, like,
also
slap them together.
It's rough out there, man.
Yeah.
All right. So
we've got Raiders and we've got Combat.
Yeah, starting off, this is, to be clear, just 5 tanks. 2 of them have punches inside. That's the list, right? There is nothing else here.
There's a 3rd unit of Sword Brethren that is super.
No. The Land Raider Redeemer has 12 Blade Guard veterans and 2 Justiciars in it.
It holds 14.
Holds 14. And the Land Raider has 10 Sword Brethren with a Chaplain in it, and then the Tech Marine probably is lone opping his way around the board.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's all this is, right?
Sorry,
this is 5 tanks, guys inside to punch you, and technically a lone op that is stapled to a different vehicle.
I have a question for you, John.
Yeah.
How nuts? He said go nuts, but did he mean like go nuts?
I mean, I am honestly staring at this trying to figure out where all the points went.
It's right there, actually.
Yeah, no. But like, it's funny because I've written a list with double Land Raider Redeemers, and yes, it's trolly and fun. But like, where did the points go?
It's an excellent question, actually. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'd better find them.
Yeah, I'm making up an army in the app as we speak.
Yep.
So
I'll just kind of start by giving like an off-the-riff first impression.
Yeah.
So Blade Guard veterans for about 275, fighting first, 4-up invul, hitting pretty hard. Here's the thing. Do you need to fight first if you're in an assault vehicle transport? I feel like fight first is for getting charged.
Yeah, but after you charge something, then you do get shot most of the time. But sometimes they want to charge you, and then they can't.
Yeah, but like, are we building for this specific scenario where someone can't shoot away the Land Raider drives up, you get to charge, beat someone up, and after that the game hinges on their counter charge without shooting, then not wiping you?
So what are you saying here? What are you telling? What are you talking to me about?
I just feel like multiple Justiciars and Blade Guard veterans aren't the move. I like one, but I feel like those and Land Raiders are kind of different concepts.
I mean, like, I get it, right? You drop off a Judy Blade Guard veteran brick, kill something, maybe you're behind a wall, and you're literally unanswerable.
It's cool. I like that.
I mean, to me, the top line impression is, what's this?
The Predator Annihilator. Yeah, okay. The Predator Annihilators, I'm not really...
Yeah. So here's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're a poor man's Lancer, or a existing in the current meta Lancer, because Lancers don't exist right now.
Yep.
But are they actually good? Right? They're worse than a Lancer, and a Lancer is decent.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean that they're good?
I mean, I think the Predator Annihilators are definitely getting cut. It's just that I want more than 390 points worth of things to play the mission here. So actually, let's look at what this list needs. This is an armored fist thrown at the faceplate of anyone who dares oppose the Emperor of Mankind, right?
This is the biggest, wildest overhand right I've ever seen.
Absolutely. If you let it land, big trouble. Does this list need to hit harder or do other things?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I think there is a certain amount of Black Templars where you just go more in on your thing, and you don't try to diversify. Because you don't benefit from making your big swing weaker.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the Predator Annihilators aren't really helping the big swing.
No, certainly not. No,
okay. That's cool. Glad we've got that.
Yeah, I wasn't about to say. Here's the thing, right? If you don't have a unit taking a worse version of that unit sometimes is correct.
True.
Right? If you don't have...
I take prosecutors instead of exaction squad sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta. If you, don't have access to exactions, servitors can do okay. That's fine. But I think when you're looking at a unit like a Lancer, where it is pretty efficient, but it's all right. A Lancer's not an insane unit.
It's just good.
It's just
good
fine.
tank.
It's fine. It's solid. But
Jack will say anything besides good about a Lancer.
I don't like Lancers.
Good.
I love their fluff. I love I love their look. I love their aesthetic. I love how they theoretically play on the table, but in reality they've always disappointed me. Anyway, let's call them good. You take a worse version of that, you can just do better things with your life.
Yes.
Yes.
So we know that the Predator Annihilators sadly are gone. They, in my mind, rely way too much on having Oath of Moment, and also are too good into a very specific set of targets only.
Yes. Yeah. And also 3 shots is just very unreliable. You shoot at something, you can just do 0 damage. You can kill it. You can do 0 damage. And that doesn't actually help your main game plan. It seems like the main game plan to me here is a bunch of really hard-hitting, somewhat durable dudes all in your face, all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I want to explore that.
Yeah.
With that said, why do we not have a 5-up Feel Pain?
So there's 2 ways to get this, right?
Right.
There's Tannhauser's Bonks, and then there's Grimaldus.
Yes.
I was about to ask if, a 4 model Grimaldus could fit in a 14 carrying Land Raider Redeemer.
It's an interesting theory. Let me look at Grimaldus, what he can join. So he is a leader, and he can join... Oh, look at that. Primaris Sword Brethren. Mm-hmm. So I like Grimaldus and Sword Brethren. He doesn't join Blade Guard, or I would probably prefer to put him there.
That's fair.
He can join Primaris Crusaders, Intercessors, Infernus, and Assault Intercessors. Primaris Sword Brethren seem like the best bet. To me, what do you think?
So the Primaris Sword Brethren, let me just get this clear. For 33 points a model,
yes,
they're a 3-wound veteran that just wails on you with a combo weapon, right?
They hit pretty hard.
Okay. Whereas a Blade Guard veteran is 33.3 points a model.
And
it doesn't hit as hard, but has an invuln.
Yes.
But a Sword Brethren and a Blade Guard veteran are basically the same cost.
Yes. But one has an invuln.
One hits a little harder because it gets +1 damage on the charge.
Or +1 attack, depending on what you swing it to.
Counterpoint, aren't Blade Guard inherently damaged too?
Yeah, Sword Brethren have Thunderhammers and
yeah, 1 Thunderhammer per 5, right?
And then Twin Lightning Claws, which they got access to.
Okay, so 1 guy has a Twin Lightning Claw?
I think 1 per 5.
1 per 5.
And then the Sergeant has a Mastercrafted Power Sword.
Okay, so he'll go to damage 3 for real.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good, and I like it as a larger unit of Blade Guard without an invuln for the purpose of buff efficiency.
Again, if I could put Grimaldus in a Blade Guard vet unit, I would. Would I? It takes him up to 10 models? That's so wild.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those Sword Brethren could be anything else. I don't know. I mean, they do provide you a really hard-hitting brick out of a Land Raider, and I respect that. But I want Tannhauser's Bones to go not in a transport, because the whole point is Tannhauser's Bones makes the unit tough, and the whole point is that I'm investing 295 points in this unit, not checking its defensive stats until after it's crumped you.
Yeah. Well, what I think is what this list wants is a unit of Assault Terminators.
Absolutely, yes.
I actually think that's what every Black Templars list wants, to be honest with you. It's where I would start.
Tannhauser's Bones, even?
Possibly with a captain with Tannhauser's Bones, yeah. Yeah, possibly with that.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, it do sound good now that you mention it.
Yeah, I think that's where Tannhauser's Bones is going. I don't think it's going in transport.
So
now, Grimaldus...
Twin Lightning Claws on Primaris Sword Brethren are very good.
Yeah, +1 damage is lit there.
Yeah, +1 damage, twin linked, 5 attacks. Good. They savage you pretty hard. So yeah, I think we can agree that if we're doing the melee infantry wog, but in black armor instead of being green.
Yeah.
I think we want those Terminators.
Yeah. So I'm very in for the Assault Terminators.
Okay.
Someone's gonna have the bones in that unit.
Yes.
Tannhauser's bones.
Yes, we can get to who has them in a second.
Yep. Now, are we keeping Land Raiders in general in this list? Because I actually like Land Raiders.
I like Land Raiders too.
I kind of dig it.
I mean, I don't. Sorry, I don't like Land Raiders.
I actually kind of like.
I like Land Raider Redeemers.
I actually kind of like the traditional one.
You like the traditional Land Raider? Poor K.
It's still just like good las cannon shots with twin linked built in.
They're twin. What is
Or
it like?
I think, or they're not twin linked.
They're not
just
twin
4
linked.
shots.
They're just 4 shots.
Okay, cool.
I'll double check.
I never really know when 2 las cannons strapped next to each other are going to be 2 shots or twin linked. It's hard to really predict.
Yeah, they're not exactly consistent with that. Let me check. It's 2 Godhammer las cannons.
Oh, that's totally 2 shots, not twin linked.
They are 2 shots. Yeah, so it's
Excellent.
4
That's
shots.
much better. That means oath works.
It's 4 shots on those las cannons. I don't love that. I think it's real not great for 275 as opposed to the Redeemer. I think the Redeemer is great.
Yeah, the Redeemer has enhanced transport capacity, so I'm down to keep the Redeemer in here.
But it's 14? Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, apparently we are getting some Discord notifications. Bye.
Can't be having that. All right.
All right.
One Land Raider. We're gonna have an Assault Terminator unit in here. Who's going in the Land Raider? Because we can do either. Blade Guard Veterans getting 2 units in 1 Land Raider is kind of sick.
2 units in 1 Land Raider is great. I think it's probably the most transport slot efficient way to use a Land Raider, right? You get 2 Blade Guard Veteran squads plus a character in each of them. I definitely think that's nice. I think if you want to make them hit harder, you take a Primaris Chaplain.
Yeah.
That package is ludicrously expensive.
So a Chaplain is 65, right?
Yeah.
So a Justiciar is 75. Justiciar gives no offense, just has a decent combo weapon and fights first.
Yes.
Primaris Chaplain gives the +1 to wound in combat, and then once a game auto pass a battle shock test. I think it's some weird
something like that.
Some anti-battle shock mechanic.
It's +1 to wound in melee.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's +1 to wound and shooting, we'd be doing all kinds of different.
No. What I mean is, you don't take him for the other thing. You take him for the +1 to wound.
Got it.
I think he's also lead 5, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I could see him being slightly braver. Is that... I just don't like to have a package of Land Raider Redeemer plus Blade Guard Veterans that is 700 points before we buy characters.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Can we honestly just put 10 Assault Intercessors and a dude in there?
That sounds bad.
It's not that expensive. You get reroll wounds built in.
That just doesn't sound good, man.
You just reroll wounds. It's just 40 attacks that reroll wounds. Not that expensive.
Yeah, but not durable even remotely.
It is not dissimilar durability to Sword Brethren.
Yeah, but Sword Brethren, you attach Grimaldus to, and suddenly you have 5-up Feel No Pain, and you have Armor of Contempt.
Yeah, how many points is that?
It's 450 for the unit.
Yeah, let's keep it sub 200 here.
Yeah. So, but I don't want that. Okay. That unit's bad, right? The Assault Intercessor unit.
I don't know. I like having volume of attacks that already reroll wins.
Yeah, but
we don't have
40 strength 4 attacks that reroll wounds is still not good.
Oh, hold on. Don't Black Templars have a bunch of melee buffs they can toss in?
They have some, yeah. You can 1 CP a bunch of stuff, but you can't do that while you're in the Land Raider.
Okay, so you can do it. How many? So they're all command phase buffs.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're command phase buffs, then
the stratagems.
In normal Space Marines, it's all fight phase buffs. So
I'll double check.
Do it then.
The stratagems. So Wrath. +1 AP is in the fight phase.
Okay, because I was honestly just thinking you just have a chaplain and that, and then you go in with +1 to wound, reroll wounds, and go ape on someone. I'm just trying to figure out what's a points efficient thing to put in a Land Raider Redeemer, because does that hit as hard as 6 Blade Guard Veterans? Honestly, I think it does.
I don't actually. I think it's less durable. I don't think it hits as hard.
It's a lot more attacks.
It's 40 versus, 24, but the 24 are damage too. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same. kind of. Really, I'm thinking that you just put 10 Sword Brethren in there and go mulch people.
Okay. So we're just saying no defense, we have Land Raider.
I mean, 10 Sword Brethren with a 5 Feel No Pain are
okay.
not.
And Grimaldus.
Right. And Grimaldus. I mean, fine. Okay. We can
keep the Sword Brethren. I'm just trying to figure out what is in this Land Raider, because it's... Yeah, as much as I love the idea of Blade Guard, I cannot stomach a Land Raider that is 695 before you add characters.
That's fair.
Like, I just can't do
this
that.
This one's significantly cheaper. This is only 625.
Yeah, not super thrilled, but like, let's get that star going.
Hold on, let's add the Terminators.
Well, yeah, let's just... Because that's going to be like 400 points, right?
Yeah, the Terminators are exactly 400.
Okay.
So, what character do we want in the Terminators?
You need a Terminator character. You have a Feel No Pain theoretically if you do Tannhauser's Bones. Because my memory is that there's Terminator Librarian, Chaplain, and Captain. Those are the only... And an Ancient, but the Ancient isn't.
Cannot take a Librarian.
It's not going to be the Ancient. You can't take the Librarian here, so that's gone. The Chaplain gives a 4 Feel No Pain against mortals, which is generically awesome, because it also gives a +1 wound, but then it's kind of redundant with Tannhauser's Bones.
A little bit, but then there's also the place where, like, a 4-up Feel No Pain against mortals is substantially better.
Yeah, but, like, is it better than a free strat?
Probably not.
Okay, so the Terminator Chaplain gives +1 wound. Is that something Black Templars can replicate with stratagems? I'll admit I mostly think about the Gladius stratagems. I don't actually know the Black Templar stratagems that infinitely.
There's +1 AP, and then there's switch what thing you're in, so you can become lethal hits or sustained hits.
If you can't replicate +1 to wound, I'm down for a Chaplain.
Yeah, Chaplain with a 4 Feel No Pain against mortals and +1 to wound really feels quite strong.
The +1 wound is the part that I'm actually attached to here, because I find that Terminators generically aren't as many attacks as you always think they are. And so I always, when playing with like Assault Terminators, I'm like, oh, this is not the premier melee unit I was expecting.
Yeah. We're gonna do this, so I have Tannhauser's Bones. So
Tannhauser's Bones.
Terminator Chaplain. Plus Chaplain, you want a Chaplain in...
Yeah, you're playing Black Templars. I respect the Chaplain here.
Yeah, so Tannhauser's Bones, 125.
Okay.
So...
Hauser. Okay. Alright, so we are obviously starring it up here. So this Assault Terminator unit with Tannhauser's Bones is 525 points, but it's also 40 wounds of T5, 2 up armor, 4 bend, 1 5 Feel No Pain, potentially armor contempt.
Yes.
It is
thick.
Very annoying to shift for many armies.
Yes. It's not particularly fast.
It's not.
So I think it probably starts off board and
rapid
rapids
ingress in. Someone's like, but I can just shoot it there, and you say, go ahead.
Sure. All right. Have fun, buddy.
Okay. So
enjoy.
We are down to a Redeemer with 10 Sword Brethren. Is Grimaldus the friend here?
I think if we take Sword Brethren, you gotta take Grimaldus.
Okay. And Grimaldus gives them command phase ability?
Yeah, he gives them... Grimaldus has a bunch of things.
Alright, I am so sorry for asking this. Haven't really done transports in 10th. Can he pick that while he's in a transport? Because I know you can't use stratagems on units in transports.
I believe you do get to.
Okay. I'm perfectly willing to accept that answer. I just haven't checked because I've been playing like Tyranids and Custodies for most of the edition. So it hasn't really come up yet.
I'll be 100. I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't really read transport rules until I bring a transport. That's when I kind of start.
Neither of us have done that.
Yeah. So let's like humor me. Tell you what, I'm just gonna go.
So he does give the unit reroll hits, just base.
Grimaldus does?
Yeah, just as a thing he gives the unit.
A very good start.
And then he can give it advance, fallback, and charge, a Feel No Pain 5-up, or +1 AP. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure Sword Brethren with Grimaldus...
Kills most things?
Kills everything, I'm pretty sure. Like, you can give it +2 AP, rerolls to hit... You know, you can possibly rerolls to wound too if you go into the oath target, things like that.
Yeah. All right. So
it just says in your command phase if the unit contains one or more Cenobite servitor models. So I believe you are allowed to pick it because it doesn't say on the battlefield.
All right, perfect. So then let's hope that works. So we got Grimaldus here and all of his friends, and he's what, 125?
He is in fact 125.
All right. we have somehow boiled this list down to two units.
God bless. That is,
And
in fact, what you need
let's
to do.
go ahead and just check. How many points are we sitting at with just
Us.
2 units, 2 characters, and a Land Raider?
We do not.
We're obviously north of 1,000 here. So
We do not ask these kind of questions, John.
Well, we need to finish the 2K list here, so I must know.
Oh, no. All right, Land Raider Redeemer, i.e. the kind of Land Raider I like.
Yep.
Land Raider Redeemer, we're sitting at 1270.
Okay, that's honestly...
Not the Judiciary here, this is just, there we go.
Okay, yeah, Judy's gone.
So, this is, fine.
Okay, so we're at 1270, which means we have, 730 left?
Yeah.
Are we trying to have a backfield or go no backfield?
Well, we can always turn our opponent's backfield into our backfield.
I'm okay with the concept of empty backfield like Let's Dance.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something heretical here.
Go for it.
Would we like an intercessor squad? They stick objectives, and this is the only way to stick objectives in Space Marines that I'm aware of. Lone ops are good. We can always toss a Calidus Assassin literally anywhere. But
I'm going to be real with you, man. This looks so bad.
I have been trying.
Just from all this Sword Brethren and a Redeemer.
Yes, I was actively trying to not.
But I will be honest, Assault Intercessors also look terrible in a Redeemer. I like the Redeemer, I just don't know if I like anything that Templars can put in it.
I actually like the Assault Intercessors, man. It's a sub 200 point unit that's a bucket of attacks and it just goes in there and says, I reroll all wounds. You could just put a beater character in there, honestly, Helbricht.
All right, let's see what we can do if we make this.
I'm just looking.
Let me see if Grimaldus can join that unit actually, because then he gives them real hits and then they reroll wounds. So he can join. He can join Assault Intercessors.
Okay.
How many points? All right, let's lean into the John special. But I
want
want another Land Raider out of this.
Oh, Jack, I was trying to get more units on the list, not less, but okay.
No. More Land Raiders is more units technically.
Assault Intercessors. They're 190. Your choice of Thunderhammer. I like Thunderhammer because you reroll wounds.
Sure.
Okay. Significantly cheaper. I acknowledge
significantly sadder.
It does not hit as hard as the Primaris Sword Brethren.
I do think Primaris Sword Brethren are overcosted.
Yeah.
That's just, I think. Their Assault Intercessors are 180.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, because they're 90 for 5.
Okay, cool. There you go.
Okay. So we're sitting at a comfortable 1120, and boy, did that not get as many points out of it as I thought it would.
I mean, 150. It's 2 units.
How many Land Raider Redeemers can I add to this list?
Stop. Okay. All right. Let's dial it in here. Do we want to have an empty backfield where we're just maybe sticking some objectives, having some lone ops, and running, or are we trying to have a real backfield? We can abandon the backfield and go full speed on the push.
I think we just take Scout Snipers, man. They just hold the backfield, can't be shot.
Oh.
I don't think we need to think about it harder than that.
I feel like only cowards wear camo cloaks, but we can still do it.
Scout Snipers, done.
Just saying, a Black Templar hiding from the enemy? Come on.
They're beating the objective up really hard.
Also, let's just go ahead and say it. There's going to be some agents in here, right?
I mean, at that point, I don't think there's a Scout Sniper squad.
No, what we have.
Where's our third brick coming from, John?
Why do we need a third brick?
What is that a real question?
Yeah, I really don't think we need a third brick here.
What if we took another unit of Assault Intercessors in another Redeemer with a character? I don't know. I feel like one Land Raider... I'm not even memeing here, actually, by the way. I do think that if one Land Raider Redeemer for as cheap as you can reasonably make it is good, I think you want a pair.
Okay. What's another character that we can add here? What does Helbricht buff a unit with?
I believe +1 strength, and then he himself hits like a jerk.
Would him rerolling wounds help?
You would be surprised. Yes, it would, actually.
Okay.
He's only 105. He can join Assault Intercessors.
All right.
Abilities is he gives +1 strength and unmodified hit rolls of 5+ score crit.
He just gives that to his unit?
Yes.
Does he give his unit sustained or lethal or anything, or that's just what he...
No, but there's a strat to give them sustained or lethal because you put them in another doctrine.
And does that happen in the command phase?
I believe so, yes.
But you can start in one of those doctrines, right? You can just have one of those be the oaths you start in, and then getting out the transport's fine?
You can, yes.
Okay, so to me it sounds like Helbrecht in an Assault Intercessor squad is less than 300 points.
It is.
Hits quite hard.
It's 285.
Yeah, so with sustained hits, criticals on 5s, +1 strength, reroll wounds, I feel like that's going to hit really hard.
It does, in fact, mess people up.
Yeah. Now, did they ever fix that Grimaldus Helbrecht now either has Captain or Chapter Master or something along those lines?
They did, in fact, give those keywords.
Great, cool. So, what characters can we add with this? Is there a second character worth adding, or we just do...
I mean, we could add a lieutenant, right, just to give them lethal.
Yeah, I'm just like, could they get sustained and lethal and exploding 5s?
I mean, how many points is that?
I think a lieutenant's like 65, which is not free, but it's also not like that expensive.
Well, of course, what we want is not that. We want not a marshal. We want...
Oh, sorry, a Castellan.
A Castellan. 70 points. Castellan gives them lethal hits and shoot and charge after falling back.
Fall back and do things with that unit would be nice.
Yeah.
That actually sounds like that would hit fairly hard.
Yeah, the Castellan also doesn't hit, like, soft.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got critical 5s, sustained, lethal, then reroll wounds.
Yes.
That has to mess people up.
Yeah, and you can also 1 CP plus 1 AP.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
on
board with that. Let's do it.
That sounds like what we want is another land raid.
Well, I tried to ask for trash, and if we're not getting it, we're leaning in.
I think after this point, I think is where you start.
Yeah, definitely want to get some trash in here soon. And for people in the chat, by the way, who maybe aren't aware, we like to go over our super chats in between lists, so we appreciate those of you who have contributed. We will be addressing all of those shortly, but not yet. First, we have to find out what happens when you go double Land Raider Redeemer and a Terminator Brick.
The answer is you win by default.
I mean, you definitely get the chat award.
Yeah. All right, so this is 1770 right
and
here.
Does this have a Castellan in it as well?
Sorry, yes, it does have a Castellan and is 1770.
Okay. And he doesn't have an enhancement yet.
He does not, but he could.
Yeah, we could look into that in a second.
Let's take a look at Sigismund's Seal. Sigismund's Seal is gives himself +1 attack.
Solid.
And then it doesn't do anything. Gives him criticals on 5s if any challenge, no matter the odds, is the one.
Okay, so with Halbrecht up, that's irrelevant.
Super doesn't matter.
Cool, so let's get rid of that.
You could just give him Perdition's Edge for +1 strength and AP, and then +1 attacks if Suffer Not the Unclean to Live is part of the army. I don't particularly care about any of these.
Okay, so he doesn't have to have an enhancement.
Yeah.
We said this is 1770?
1770.
This is the point, I think, where we're not getting a Calidus and are getting trash.
Yes.
Because we have 230?
Oh, wait, hold on. Somebody pointed out Primaris Crusaders have more attacks than Assault Intercessors.
Completely true. But the real wounds is what I was liking. So could we maybe do 1 Assault Intercessor, 1 not, and then the not goes into the Oath target and the Assault Intercessors go into the other?
Yeah. The thing I like about Primaris Crusaders is they have scouts.
Yep.
And you can't do that if you've joined a unit. If you joined a character to them.
Oh, you mean if you want to scout a Land Raider Redeemer?
Yeah. Yeah, rerolling wounds is a big part of this. They have 1 extra attack apiece, but...
But not reroll wounds.
But don't.
How many points is 10 Primaris Crusaders?
It's actually not that much. So you get... Unfortunately, you have to take neophytes with it, but it's 160.
Okay, so you have 4 less power armor bodies, but +1 attack.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
You also get 2 power fists in there.
feel
But you
like...
lose out on the Thunderhammer.
Yeah, but you get 2 power fists.
You get 2 power fists and 1 power weapon, and then everyone else has 5 attack chainswords.
Got it. I feel like at least one of these units wants to be a Crusader squad.
Okay.
I'm just thinking save 20 points. You will have Oath of Moment into something. But I like Assault Intercessors because they are semi-independent of Oath and that they will still hit a non-Oath target fairly well.
Yeah.
But you will occasionally find yourself going into an actual Oath target.
Yes. This also keeps it cheaper, which is nice. This is $17.50 now.
Okay, so clean 250 left.
I think our trash is literally... I think the Castellan, by the way, could exit the list, but we'll see. I think our trash is literally going to just be 2 exactions.
Okay, so if we do that, we have 180.
Yeah. 180. Can we fit another Land Raider Redeemer and Assault Intercessors in a character?
No. We already have too many. All right, let's add 2 exaction squads right now, just because we know it's coming.
Yes. Yeah, you do need to have units to do things.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. 2 of these bad boys?
That's right.
Excellent.
So 2 exactions is 70 points. Handles our trash.
Okay.
Quite well. I mean, I guess. Mm-hmm. All right, let me put them in the list.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. We have 180 points left. What do we want?
I mean, in my mind, 180 points of Space Marines is like an infiltrator squad and a scout unit, or 2 infiltrator squads. We could just do 2 infiltrators here, and that's 180 on the dot.
I mean, we could, right?
Then we've got 2 forward deploying units, 2 backfield trash units, 2 Land Raiders full of combat, and then you rapid ingress the Assault Terminators in on the push turn.
Yeah, and the Terminators will mess you up.
They are going to hit extremely hard.
Yeah.
I'm voting 2 infiltrators here.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well.
When you have 2 bricks on the table, and then you have 1 in reserves, you really can't afford to go backwards.
I'll be very honest, though. I think that calling these bricks is very generous.
It is generous. The Land Raider and unit package is a brick in my mind.
That's fair. The Land Raider itself is mostly what does a lot of the work. It is
contributing.
Yeah. Apparently, according to someone in chat, Grimaldus buffs cannot be active in a transport. I do not know. I will say the Grimaldus buff that does work is real hits, because that one is just a static buff.
Yeah, that part's nice.
And rerolling hits and wounds straight up is quite good. Is it just reroll wounds, or is it not if you're on an objective?
It's real ones to wound, real wounds if your opponent is on an objective. That's why I think having 1 Crusader, 1 Assault Intercessor is good.
And you put the Crusader with Helbrecht and the Castellan. Mm-hmm. And you just get in there.
Yeah.
The Assault Intercessors join Helbrecht and the Castellan, so they get the reroll wounds.
Yes.
And Grimaldus joins the Primaris Crusaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just 2 squads of infiltrators.
That's what I would do.
Honestly,
I like forward deploys. I like screens. I mostly like screens that people can't get behind easily, because God, is it awful when you have to turn around the Land Raiders.
This list does hit very hard in combat.
Yeah.
It's only somewhat durable in that you have 1 unit that is durable.
Mm-hmm. But you just got to make that someone's problem.
That's true. You can make a really, really obnoxious unit of Sword Brethren, in that you have like an apothecary in the unit, rezzing dudes, and you have like because I think an apothecary can join.
Is the Sword Brethren kit one of those weird kits that is what makes the Castellan? AKA, is it one of those weird units that can be taken as a 9er instead of a 10er?
I don't believe so.
God, okay.
I believe it's 5 to 10.
Okay.
The Primaris Apothecary can join. Does he have the thing where he can join even if he can join even if you already have a captain, chapter master, lieutenant, and he can join Primaris Sword Brethren, because anything that can join intercessors can join Primaris Sword Brethren.
Okay.
So you can make a somewhat more durable unit if you wanted to join like Helbrecht and an apothecary to a unit of Sword Brethren, or something of that nature, or a captain and an apothecary, and then you just go Armor of Contempt whenever your opponent tries to shoot at you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
But I think that this is definitely better than it looks.
Yeah, this is wild looking. It's 2 trash units in the back, 2 infiltrators screening out, 2 Land Raider Redeemers, and then a 10-man Assault Intercessor unit and a Crusader unit in each of those. Lots of characters to make them hit harder. The 10 Assault Terminators, I think, are going to do a lot of heavy lifting here because they are obnoxious to kill for most people.
Yeah, regardless of what you do with Black Templars, I think you take that unit.
Agreed.
Whether or not you put a captain in it, I think the chaplain good. Mm-hmm. Captain also pretty good.
Captain is also quite good. I like Captain, but a Primaris chaplain does bring a Terminator chaplain does bring a lot of oomph to that unit as well. Yeah.
This also gets to have the highest hitting Hellbricht in the land with Assault Intercessors giving him reroll wounds.
Yeah, that is a Hellbricht that Hellbricht is always hanging on the edge of the unit because he's swinging on a second unit.
Yes, that's an Abaddon-ish. It's budget Abaddon, really, is what it is. Mm-hmm. Because he hits pretty dang hard. He has he has 12 attacks at strength 6, AP 3, damage 1, or 6 attacks at 8, 3, 3.
So 6 attacks at 8, 3, 3 goes to strength 9.
Goes to strength 9.
Potentially has sustained and lethal because there's a castle in there.
Yeah.
And exploding 5s.
Yes.
Yeah, that is going to hurt.
And possibly full rerolls to hit and wound.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
But even when he's just rerolling wounds, it's going to hit really hard.
Yeah.
Oof, okay.
Yep.
I like it.
Yeah, he'll cut pretty much any vehicle in half, and if you buff up the unit at all, he also receives the buff. Mm-hmm. So if you buff the unit with, +1 AP, he becomes AP 4, damage 3, with, oh, you're a knight that I wound on 5s, anyway, here's 6 wounds. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, sorry, 6, saves, and then you can't, 18 damage.
Yeah, and you really could switch which 10-man you want to join which character. You could easily go one way or the other. Because, Grimaldus in the Assault Intercessors is just now reroll hits and wounds. And then the Hellbricht in Crusaders unit more wants to be hitting your Oath target, but also likes to have reroll hits and wounds, because rerolling hits really helps the whole sustained 5 thing.
Yes, and that unit will put down a knight, every time.
Yeah, that's every single time. Really hard. So I could genuinely see flipping it the other way.
Yeah, I can also see Hellbricht plus... I think if I were to play Black Templars, I would just take Hellbricht plus Sword Brethren because it's fun.
That is going to hit Omega hard.
But we are going wildly over time because Black Templars are cool.
There they go.
So I think what we're going to do is we're going to leave this list where it's at because I think it's in a pretty good place. Mm-hmm. Let's cover some super chats and then we'll move on to the next list.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so first up we got Luke is all right. Member for 5 months of the War Room Bronze.
Woohoo!
John, after playing on stream last week, is there something you'd fix on the Salamanders list you built while trying to keep the theme somewhat?
I actually really like the Salamander list I built. I would honestly love to take another stab at a game with that. I think that if anything is disposable there, it's probably the Lancers, which, 1, don't fit the theme of the list that much. 2, while being good, probably aren't take 3 of good. So honestly, I think I would cut one of those Lancers for a couple more units. What immediately jumps to mind is if I could cut the Lancers and try to maybe fit in 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 attack bikes or something. Just get a little more melt, a little more something in there. Or I could always try to upgrade one of them to a Valiant because having the multi-melt as rerolling wounds with Vulcan is actually pretty dang good.
Yeah.
So there's a couple options there. I haven't really decided what I think the best way to do it is. But probably trim down the number of Lancers. I genuinely liked both of the Land Raider Redeemers I had in my Salamander list. Yep. It's a Land Raider Redeemer day.
Cartho 12, the £5 super chat. In a hypothetical top 10 melee deathball combos tier list, would Hellbricht plus Sword Bros and Castellan rank on it? It can be ungodly if you min-max it. It might be one of the highest damage dealing units in the entire game, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
We did make a top 10 melee damage dealing units. Mm-hmm. I don't think that unit was on the list. It definitely should have been. That unit hits bananas hard.
Yeah. Exploding 5s and rerolls snowballs way faster than it should.
Yeah.
It's very good.
If you hit the Oath of Moment target, I don't think there's a single thing that unit does not kill. Especially with Hellbricht's sweep attack being +1 damage because of the Sword Brethren.
You'd have to be Deathwing Knights or something.
Yeah.
And even then, you're going to hurt Deathwing Knights quite badly.
Because you can +1 AP to get around the Armor of Contempt. I think you legitimately just go +1 attack and just go, oh, look, you're dead, because even through your saves.
I'd be very impressed if you put 80 invulns on that unit, but it is going to hurt.
Yeah.
A lot.
So I'm going to crunch the numbers.
No one's going to be happy. No one's going to be happy about that.
All I know is I want to play that because I, too, want to go in and kill God on the charge.
Yep.
DJ Vinson, DJ Vinson, €2 super chat. This list needs 20 Primaris Crusader squad plus Grimaldus.
Love that sometimes. Unfortunately, I've just found that Blast decimates that kind of unit too quickly.
Yep. Cartho 12.
Thank you, Cartho.
Back again. So Halbrecht plus Castellan plus Sword Bros with all possible buffs activated. Is this one of the choppiest melee death balls in the game? Basically repeating your comment from earlier because it looks like you just mistyped it somehow. But yes, I want to play that unit. Pretty bad,
sounds
actually.
like it's going to hit pretty hard.
Yes. Ivan Kong, member for 6 months in the War Room Silver. I'm curious how much would I miss if I never include units with indirect fire in my Space Marines army, and how much harder for me to play on the table?
I don't think that you would always miss it. I honestly think Space Marines don't actually need Desolators. I found that in any world where you don't get consistent plunging fire, Desolators aren't actually worth it.
Yes.
And from that point, I like having 2 Whirlwinds in a Space Marine list as some good indirect that doesn't die to other indirect usually. But I don't think it's a mandatory. I think it's just, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, if we
look at having this.
If we look at Team Poland's Space Marine list, I think was very good.
Yep.
It was played by one of their just a very good player from who was on the team last year as well. It didn't have any Desolators. Yep. It had a Land Raider Redeemer with 6 aggressors and Bolter Discipline, and it hit giga hard.
Yeah, that unit certainly slaps.
Yeah, unless you really knew what he was doing. All right. Muzzbuzz, 5 Adam Dollar. Super chat. Hey gents, just want to say well done on the WTC results, and thanks for the ideas regarding my orc list from your list build episode. Much love.
Thank you, Muzzbuzz. Appreciate that, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And then finally, we've got Mindy Frank. Welcome to the War Room Bronze.
Ooh, welcome, Mindy. Thank you.
All right, so we've got our next list. This list does make me want to start like building and playing with a little Black Templar, a little Templar in my life.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
All right, Grey Knights.
Oh, Jack is in a mood today.
Oh yeah, Grey Knights. Let's go. I didn't include them in the Fix My List Imperium because it would come out before WTC, but I made a point of making sure they would be in this one so I could talk a little bit about them.
Okay.
So why don't you go through what's in the list, and I will pull up any comments.
I'd love to. So we have a Grand Master with Incinerator and the Sigil of Exigence. That's the enhancement that lets them teleport once they get shot once a game. Calidor Drago himself. 10 Terminators with 2 Incinerators, a Banner, and an Apothecary. That a second time. Then a 5-mana with all the 1 Incinerator and all the character upgrades. Another 5 Terminators. We have 10, 10, 5, 5. 5 strikes, 5 strikes. Everyone's packing Incinerator. 2x5 Exactions, no Assassin. That's it. So
That's it.
30 Terminators. But then also 2 Strike Squads, 2 Exaction Squads, and that Grandmaster and Drago. So just 2 10-man characters, or 2 10-man character plus Terminator bricks, 2 5-mans. Okay.
Yep. So, some notes from George Mitchell. Pretty unimpressed with the strikes for the points, but do find value from the scout and sticky objectives, plus wounded squads bouncing around doing mission stuff.
Yep.
2 smaller Termi squads tend to do more static objective holding behind walls in no man's land, skirmishing while the 2 bricks do Grey Knight tricks around my opponent. List definitely misses shooting, but can't find a way to fit a Paladin brick and solve a list with enough units that I'm comfortable playing, hence not all in on Jack's triple brick list. Have considered swapping a Calidus for one of the strikes, but don't know what to do with the remaining 30 points. It's, it would give you 20, I believe, unless this list is 10.
This might just be 1990.
It's probably 1990.
Okay. So then we're... Alright, so this is about 50% of what you kind of brought up to see, so you've obviously got a lot of expertise on this. This list does not shoot very hard into most profiles.
It doesn't shoot basically at all into any profiles. Cover means that bolters are nice, but they're not. They're going to chip a wound or two. They're not going to kill something.
Yeah, this list kills guardsman profiles at a very good rate.
Yes.
Everything tougher than that, everything with a 4-up save or better, T4 or better, is not really dying at any speed. Obviously, this list can do melee quite well, and it's not trying to be a damage output list. But if you have 0 damage output, people usually find a way to expose you.
Yes, this is why, for the record, why I had the Paladins. Grey Knight rules are so good at benefiting shooting units that I was willing to take an insanely overpriced unit just to get some amount of shooting in the list.
That's fair.
Yes, this list is 1990. So that's why I took it, because otherwise people start doing things like leaving their units out in the open or just sheer disrespecting your shooting. And having some amount of shooting is nice because you can't always guarantee that you get a charge on somebody. In addition, Sigil of Exigence is really good on a shooting unit because you can pop out, shoot, and then hop back in again when your opponent after your opponent shoots you. That being said, you do not need to go all in on paladins, right? Because that leads you down a rabbit hole that leads you very quickly into my list.
Yep.
If you go paladin, but here's the thing I would do. I would probably take one of these 10-man Terminators and turn it into a paladin unit.
And we're going to try to figure out how to make the points work so that there's still enough units.
Yeah, Sigil of Exigence plus the paladins was pretty good. It was great in conjunction with 2 other units.
Yep.
It wasn't insane by itself, so we don't have to switch any of this around if you don't want. The thing I would say is I like strikes quite a bit. You don't need to.
Yep.
I don't think you need to at all. They're overpriced, and George Mitchell himself said that. He doesn't particularly like them, but he likes sticking objectives.
And having a little scout moving unit is nice.
Yes.
So, okay, so how much is it going to cost us, theoretically, to promote 10 Terminators to a Paladin squad?
60 points.
60, okay.
It is quite expensive.
Yeah. So, off the rip, first look here. We're trying to increase the number of units. We could just cut 1 Terminator for a Paladin, call it a 60-point upgrade. We have cut a 135-point unit, so that'll leave us about 75 points left if we do that. 75 points left could quite literally just be an Eversor. Just another scout moving, lone op, cheap. You don't need the Calidus as much because you already have things to go up-down, but it is nice if you want to. You could cut like an exaction squad to try to make that promotion.
Yeah, we could do that. I like Drago plus... So the things I like in this list that I don't want to change. I like Drago plus the 10 terms.
Yeah, that seems good.
That's great. Love that.
Okay.
We don't need First to the Fray as long as you have yours who is deep striking and who is not plan firmly established. You don't need it. The reason I took First to the Fray was, first off, it was good being able to drop in turn 1.
Yeah, just went in a pinch.
Sometimes you want that if you want to put, like, you're going first and you want to put pressure on a list. You just drop on an objective. Grandmaster goes, hey, you're not shooting me this turn. And then you're just like, all right, I will get my 10 next turn no matter what happens. It can be quite good there, but you don't need it. The reason I included it was because if I was going on Eldar's table choice, I would not be able to fit more than 10 Terminators behind a piece of terrain.
Yeah.
And that means I'd get shot up, and so I needed to be able to deep strike.
But without a light table for Eldar to choose in a singles tournament, it's a little less of a threat, even though Eldar is never a fun matchup for anyone.
Exactly. So what we could do here is avoid taking Paladins, and we could take the other way of doing damage at range.
Okay.
Which are the Librarians.
Okay.
So Librarians give up the fact that your unit shoots. They don't do that. And they have an ability where you pick a unit within 18 inches, roll a die on a 2-up, you do 2d3 mortals to them. On a 6, you do 2d6 mortals to them. Yeah, it's the perfect Richard ability. He loves the Librarians. For WTC, I didn't include them for cascading reasons, but I did like them. They do a lot of mortal wounds. I think they're quite good. They're like 110.
Not cheap.
They also have a gun. That's like not amazing, but is not terrible.
It's a psychic gun or like a stormbolter?
Psychic gun. They do have they can take a combi weapon as well. Okay. Like a mortal wound or 2. But it's 1-shot precision. It's strength 6, AP 2, damage 3.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not great. Drago has a decent gun as well. His brain is pretty small.
Veiny.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could try to do that, but each Terminator Librarian presumably needs a home. And yes, there are 4 Terminator units here. Like, we could keep no Paladins and find 220 points of Terminator Librarian to staple onto 5-mans.
Yes.
That feels like that's making a now 6-man Terminator too expensive.
It feels that way to me. Richard really liked him when he played with him.
Okay.
But it does feel like that 335-point unit is just not that great.
What does that Grandmaster bring besides the Sigil? Because obviously anyone could carry the Sigil, I assume.
Yes.
But I assume you can't attach multiple Terminator characters to a single Terminator unit.
Correct.
Okay.
So what the Grandmaster does is he makes his unit ignore all modifiers.
Okay. Trajan style.
Trajan style. It's very good. It comes up consistently in basically every game you play.
Yep.
Basically every defensive ability is a modifier. You get to ignore them. Your unit hits much harder.
You liked Drago, right?
I liked Drago.
Okay.
The Grandmaster also, once a game, gives you a free stratagem on the unit, and you can double up. Which, it's once a game, it's not as good as Space Marines, but don't mistake the fact that that's still very good. Mm-hmm. If that was his only ability, then sure, he'd be bad, but the ignore modifiers is very good.
Yeah.
So, that's what he does. That, plus he has a heavy weapon, plus he can carry a thing. He hits, not hard, but not hard in combat. He's okay.
Yeah.
Sigil is the enhancement that is definitely going in the list. It is, in my mind, one of the best enhancements in the entire game.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be on someone.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out if the Grandmaster, who's valuable, is irreplaceable or if he's good.
I think he's good. He's not irreplaceable.
Like, could we take this list we have on the screen right now, cut that Grandmaster, slap that enhancement onto a Terminator Librarian, see how many Terminator Librarians we can add, and just see where those points go?
Yeah, absolutely. So that would look like that.
Okay, so Librarians are not much cheaper.
No.
Okay, totally fine.
Or I guess it's just a Librarian. All of them are Terminator armor, and then doesn't have an Incinerator. So the reason that I had it in my list was so that first to the fray, I could turn 1 Deep Strike down and go, shoot me, even though I don't have the CP for it. Mm-hmm. And free strat it, turn 1, just to get a bunch of points.
Yep, okay. So then we're doing that.
Yep.
How many points is this at right now?
So this right now is at... get rid of the strikes. So 1850.
That's with the exactions in?
It's with the exactions and with the Sigil of Exigence.
Okay, so 1850.
1850.
So it would be 220 to get 2 more Terminator Librarians in, which would be cutting the exactions, which is not a great idea, I think.
1850 is, 150 left. Yeah.
Yes, we need 70 more to get to 220 to get 2 Librarians in.
Yes.
Could we is 2 Librarians, are Librarians a thing where you either accept you're not doing shooting damage and you don't take them, or you take 3 of them to get critical mass? Can you take 2 and be happy?
I think you do one of 3 things. 1, you accept you don't have shooting, which I don't love.
I don't love that.
2, you take Paladins.
Yep.
Then they technically do shooting. You can kill a thing when you need it. It makes a difference. Mm-hmm. Having something that shoots as opposed to nothing. And then 3, you take Librarians. Those, I think, are the 3 paths you can go down.
I mean, 4 is find an ally with guns, but none of the knights are exciting to me.
No, they're not. You can't take Brigands. So, rip.
Sad.
Yeah. I would love to. Personally, I think the main issue here is that, as always with Grey Knights, strikes are great, but too expensive. 135 for 5 strikes is just too much.
Okay, so we have 150.
Yes.
If we cut the 2 strikes, we would have 285.
Yep.
If we plugged 2 Librarians in, we'd have 65 left. And that would just get you like a Servitor unit and a cheap enhancement, right? That's kind of where that would end.
If we have how much left?
65.
65? Yeah, that doesn't do anything of note, unfortunately.
Because you can't cut an exaction and then take a 90-point unit.
Yeah, I mean, it gives one of our units +1 to charge, which is quite good. It's a 15-point enhancement if you're not taking first to the fray, because you don't have like the finely tuned game plan of I need to be able to do X, Y, Z. Then I think you take that enhancement. That enhancement, very good.
We are critically running low on number of units.
That is just not a problem for Grey Knights.
Okay.
Okay. It feels rough until you get used to it.
Fair enough. You absolutely have more experience than I do with Grey Knights.
What we could do is we could just... I mean, this is how the list starts going into my list. Mm-hmm. What we could do is take the strikes and turn it into a Calidus. That gives us 20 more points.
Yep.
And then that gives us 170. We could take a second Librarian, give them +1 to charge.
Yeah.
Which would be 125.
And then a Servitor unit.
And then a Servitor unit. So we get 2 exactions, a Calidus, a Servitor.
I feel like I'd rather have the third Librarian than the Calidus, honestly.
Well, fair enough.
I mean, like, if you're trying to make your thing, I'm going to mortal wound you in shooting.
Then mortal wound
him.
Then let's do it.
Mortal wound him in shooting.
Let's mortal wound him in shooting.
Yeah, I feel like Librarians are a 3 or like I don't think 2 is the right number.
No, almost certainly not. I mean, what we could do is we could take the Terminators into Paladins, attach the Librarian with Sigil of Exigence, and just don't take like the Brother Captain package, which I think is fine. And you just do a decent amount of damage in shooting, not insane, but not terrible.
I just want to keep people's heads down, right?
You
like,
have
that's what
to.
I'm mostly looking for, is I want people to see my Grey Knight weird army that's just trying to wave its arms and teleport around the battlefield and score points for 5 turns. And I want them to have a reason to do something besides put their forehead down and sprint at every objective.
Yes. Once your opponent has put a model on the center of every single objective, life gets fairly difficult sometimes if you can't shoot things to death.
Yeah.
My game into Matt Robertson on stream is a perfect example of why you need shooting. It would have taken me a year and a day to get through his screens in Melee. But instead I was able to pop out, shoot one thing to death, charge another thing, and just clear his screens really fast. And that let me get back in a game that I was like 30 points behind. You need some amount of shooting. You need some amount of ability to threaten people. And Librarians are quite good in 1,000 Suns.
I like, getting yourself mortal wound output in psychic defense is very funny.
Yes.
It's one of the problems that 2-up armor save armies have right now, is that 1,000 Suns can kind of like dab on them. So we don't like that here.
No.
I'm down to go triple Librarian. I really am.
Yeah, me too.
I just need to make sure that we're not going critically low on number of units. So
I think you're going low,
good?
But I don't think you're going critically low.
Okay.
I mean, you can't go lower than my...
Yeah, you can't go lower than 3. I get that. It just, points don't really work out.
Yeah. My list was 3 units plus an Exaction plus a Calidus, and it functioned quite well.
Okay. So if we cut that strike squad...
Yes, which we do need to.
Which we do need to. How many points is this chilling at?
So, first things first, I actually want to add the...
and then the enhancement to one of these boys?
The enhancement is very good.
Yeah,
I'm just debating if I... Honestly, I think I want to put it on the 10-man. So I can just get that unit charging.
Okay, just the +1 charge?
Yeah. And just have Sigil on a 5-man that can go do a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can always make that call kind of...
You can also make it a 5-man Paladin and get 3 heavy weapons in there. Just 3 Incinerators pop out, 3 Incinerators plus Librarian Blast plus Librarian thing. Mm-hmm. And it costs a little bit extra, but you have Sigil to keep it alive. It's a whole thing you can probably do. So, Librarian with Inescapable Wrath, and then another Brotherhood Librarian. Boop, boop, boop. Get rid of the strikes. Spy, sorry. And this is, one of these has to be Inescapable Wrath, so I'm not cheating.
Yep, which is a little cheaper, right?
Yes. Should make it 125.
Okay.
So this list with 3 Librarians, 1 with Sigil, 1 with Wrath, Drago, 10 Terminators, 5 Terminators, no strikes, and 2 Exaction squads is 50 under.
5-0.
5-0.
Okay. And now, at this point, our options are either to cut an Exaction for an 85-point unit or to add a 50-point unit, since we don't really have enhancements left that you care about, right?
Or you take...
or
you turn 5 Terminators into a...
Paladin unit.
Paladin unit.
So you could have 5 Paladins.
You could have 5 Paladins, which get 3 heavy weapons per 5.
And they are hitting on 2s instead of 3s.
That's right. I
They
think
don't
you
get the
take
banner
Incinerators there.
They do get the banner, they don't get the Narthesium.
Correct.
So you could do triple Incinerator. None of these characters have an Incinerator?
No.
Okay.
No, none of them do. I honestly think I'd rather have the Paladins over the Servitors. Yeah, that's 30 points. Okay. That leaves you with 20 of nothing you can do with that.
Was there another enhancement to buy for that Librarian?
I mean, honestly, yes, it's just bad. Domina Liber Demonica.
What does that do?
It gives... I'm glad you asked. It gives the bearer +1 to wound in combat, and then against demons +1 damage.
Okay.
It's bad, but if you're 20 points under...
Question. Inescapable Wrath is 15?
Yes.
So that's
35?
That's 35.
Yeah. Let me put this in, and then we'll take a look at our Deep Strike game plan.
Okay. So I honestly feel like at that point I'd rather just keep the Terminators in and just, like, have another unit.
Weak.
Or promote one of those Exaction squads to an Eversource so you have a lone op.
How many points is an Eversource?
75. Takes 40, which is why I didn't recommend it for the enhancement. Otherwise, I totally would have.
Yeah. So 3 incinerators, Ancient's Banner with a librarian with sigils, so you can just go in, shoot, get out, go back in, shoot.
So we have 20 points here. So you can basically replace those exactions with a 55-point unit, which isn't real.
Which doesn't exist. Like, servitors are 15 points more expensive and worse. So you're not doing that. All right, so looking at deep strike game plans, right? We can't deep strike both of the bricks.
Yep.
Just can't do that.
Yeah, one of them has to start on the table.
It's got to be Drago in the sky, and then this Librarian Terminator unit in the sky.
Okay.
Turn 1. And that leaves you with 335, and then this one's 605, so that leaves you with enough to put, like, exactions in reserve if you want.
Okay. You could only put one of the exaction squads in because you only have 6 units, and half of your units have to start on the table.
Right, got
so
it.
With one exaction on the table, one in the reserves, then 15 Terminators and their 2 characters start in reserves, and you've got... And depending on how your upgrades work, you can make that a little less than 1k.
Yes.
And that's 1980.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of want one of these units. I kind of just want 3 10-mans. But I'm not...
Terminators?
There's no way to force it there while keeping 3 Librarians. Without cutting Drago, and Drago's uncuttable in my mind.
Yeah, or you just have a Librarian floating by himself.
Or you have a Librarian floating by himself. With Sigil, it's not, like, terrible.
Then you want Sigil on unit.
You want Sigil on a unit. The reason I like Terminators in tenors is because it consolidates your effects.
Yep.
Right? It lets it be so that when you missed, a massive amount of your army just disappears and then can reappear somewhere else, as opposed to having it be segmented. In addition, 5 Terminators is not that scary. 10 Terminators is. I kind of like it.
Generally agreed.
Generally agreed.
All right.
I think if we keep this roughly the way it is, I don't think there's anything more to do than just give this guy
the random enhancement that doesn't matter much.
Random enhancement that doesn't matter.
Okay.
So just get that in here, and we go. You get a random enhancement because you're special, and Domina Weaver.
Yeah, I'm still honestly feeling that those paladins should be Terminators, that we have enough points to do a thing.
All right, what would you like to do with that thing?
I'd rather have a server unit than the extra flames of the paladins.
Okay.
We don't have to go that way. I'm just like eyeballing it. I'm just thinking like, I feel like the paladins are significantly better than Terminators.
It hurts me inside to not
have any paladins.
To not have a shooting unit with the sigil.
I get it.
Like that just hurts me on a deep fundamental level.
Absolutely understood. Totally reasonable even.
But.
Yep.
So from here, you have Inescapable, Sigil, 1 regular guy, Drago. We have 50 points left. So we could take an Exaction Squad and turn it into either an Eversur or a Vindicare.
Yep. Or we could take that's if we want a lone op, which generally do like having lone ops since we don't have a stake objective.
Yes. I like lone ops here.
Yeah. I've actually been like shockingly impressed by the Eversor when I've seen it in action, because he has a 9-inch scout move. I'm
totally down to just say this is an Eversur.
Yeah.
And that's 75?
75.
Okay, so the list is 10 under, and that's the list.
Well, it'd be 10 under.
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably play this version as double Librarian personally. Double Librarian, 10 Terminators, 10 Paladins. Mm-hmm. That's probably where I would go with it, and then you get an Exaction and a Calidus, and it's basically the same list that I played, except with double Libby instead of the other characters.
Yeah, always an option.
Always an option. Would have been nice to play into T-Suns with that, I'll tell you that much.
I believe you.
All right. But I think if you don't go with the Paladins, I think you take Librarians, and I think it looks something like this.
Okay. There we go.
So we've got a €5 super chat from the Rotten Apple.
Woohoo!
Do you think indirect as a rule can't be fixed and needs to go, or is it just that indirect makes broken models even more frustrating? We have different opinions here.
We are getting both takes. I do think that indirect as a rule can be fixed. I do think that the current version of indirect does not hit indirect hard enough. In my mind, the biggest sin of indirect is that there are too many ways to ignore it. In a world where there are less rerolls, being -1 to hit and granting cover could have been okay, but frankly, I think that they should have kept in like the -1 ballistic skill of previous.
Yeah, I have a slightly different opinion.
Mm-hmm. It's fair.
We've actually had this debate in person multiple times. I don't see a utility to indirect myself. I think it's a dangerous rule. Mm-hmm. I think that doesn't need to be broken, right? You can make indirect in such a way where it isn't broken. But it's always at a risk of when an indirect unit is good, it is, to a certain extent, impossible to play around.
Yeah, I think it requires a lot of foresight to keep that from happening, which I think is totally doable, but we haven't seen that demonstrated very often historically. In my mind, the ideal indirect package is something like Chaos Knights.
Yeah, it'll kill nonsense, but it won't kill real units.
I want indirect to be able to kill 10 guardsmen behind a wall. It shouldn't be crippling real expensive units behind a wall. That shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Guards should be the only army capable of doing that, and guards should have many other limits if they want to pursue that playstyle.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah, I think it's just a dangerous rule to have in the game, and I don't think 40k necessarily benefits from having it, whereas...
I think it's never leaving, though.
I don't think it's ever leaving, sure, but I don't think that was the question.
Fair enough. All right, Relic's up with another super chat. Hope everyone has a good day. Relic, I hope you have a good day. And hopefully everyone in the chat as well.
Yeah.
All right. One more?
One more, and this this one is the John show. Let's go.
Woo! Ultramarines.
Ultramarines.
All right. Do that same thing. Go find me any comments we've got. I'm going to read a list. So, we have a Gladius strike force of Ultramarines. Love it when we start off like this. Golemin. Primary Apothecary, the Bolter Discipline. 1, 2, 3 Infiltrators. 1, 2, 3 Sniper Scouts. Good golly, Miss Molly. 3 Inceptors.
Oh, yeah.
10 Desolators.
No. 9.
All right, well, that's changing.
Well, there's a drop pod.
That's changing. 10 Desolators.
This might be why I picked the list.
2 Gladiator Lancers, a Thunder Strike, a Drop Pod, and a Thunder Fire Cannon. So 9 Desolators is a very cute way to fit in a Drop Pod. A thing you do not need to do. But with that Drop Pod, you can have a Primary Apothecary and still hold 10, which is pretty good. I think, looking at this, that we have a ton of trash to play the mission, and we are really making it hard for the opponents to engage us, but I think that we don't have enough oomph behind it. My immediate thought here is that there is a little less damage than I wanted.
Yep, that was my first thought as well. So the notes on this list are, the list is titled, I want to win my next local event.
Okay.
All right. So, notes, I want a lot of trash for mission play. Well,
you got it.
Certainly did it, man. Like, jeez.
Yep.
The drop pod guarantees I win the Desolator War and don't lose them turn 1 to towering. Local terrain bad.
Okay.
It's not a dedicated transport, so it can start empty and hold home point. It's OC2. Thunderfire to neuter walking bricks, Lich Guard, Custodian Guard, etc. Whirlwinds have consistently disappointed me, but I do own a pair. I can't decide between the 2 Storm Speeders. Hailstrike helps against Custodians, Thunderstrike for Knights. Should I replace 1 Scout unit with a Combi Lieutenant to have a 3rd character for Sites of Power?
All right, so if local terrain is bad,
yes,
I don't think you need indirect.
Interesting.
Right?
It's probably true.
Yeah, like indirect is for when terrain good and you want to shoot them anyways.
But if terrain bad...
If terrain bad, shoot them anyways.
Yes. You know what I was really impressed by? And we talked about this in the Black Templars one, but you can't do it in Black Templars. Let's use Aggressor Squad on Team Poland.
That is where I'm going here, yeah.
Interesting. That is also a unit I kind of want to just jam into every list that I possibly can.
Yep, it does require not having Bolter Discipline on the Apothecary because it'll have to be on something else. But I genuinely, alright, so we don't want to die to Towering turn 1.
Correct.
We want to be okay into other Desolators.
Correct.
We still want to be able to hit those Desolators.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think a drop pod is helping here.
No.
I just don't think it is, because it doesn't help you in the Deso War.
I also want more damage in this. All of your damage is coming from a 9-man squad of Desolation Marines.
Yeah, but like if you start in a drop pod...
we're on the same page here.
Yeah, I just want to explain this a little more.
Yeah, go for it.
A drop pod does not help you in the Deso War. Because you drop, you get out, you shoot their Desos with Oath. Awesome. You kill somewhat number of them. You're not ignoring the indirect penalty or cover. So now it's okay, we've put them in Dev Doctrine. Okay, we're spending a CP on them when they drop in, which Gullman can help with. You're going to kill a good number of them and not the Vangor. And then they're going to be like, you rascal, you. And then they're going to shoot their Vangor, which can do most of the heavy lifting anyways. And their surviving Desolators are going to kill a decent amount of your Desolators. And then you're just going to be both sitting there with a Vangor launcher and a couple dudes. And at some point, you're going to want to shoot something else.
They're going to have more other stuff than you.
No, they will not. There's a lot of other stuff, but they'll have more damage.
No, I mean, they'll have more... Sorry. You won't have more other stuff than you. They will have more other stuff that does damage than you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if your Desolation Marines are just pointed at each other, you're losing that.
Yes.
To win this, to win the indirect war with this list, you need to kill their Desolation Marines, and then go on a rampage with your Desolation Marines. And it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it could, but you just never know what you're going to get.
You don't ignore cover. They have Armor of Contempt.
Yeah, you can spend the CP to ignore cover.
Okay.
You can drop in while you've got active Dev Doctrine, spend the CP for ignore cover plus 1 AP, and then your Desolators are AP 1,
which they then
Armor of Contempt, and ignore cover doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. So, alright, so I am honestly going to cut that entire package. The Desos, and the Drop Pod, and the Primaris Apothecary. Whole thing's gone. Control Z that Primaris Apothecary, though, because it's going to be a lot easier than typing it. Great.
I know, it's about to become a
biologist. He's a biologist now.
A Harmacist.
Yes. So the Apothecary Biologist, a.k.a. the Harmacist, he's great.
How many points is this dude?
Same. He's still 80. It's cheap. It's great. This man doesn't believe me. Alright, Guilliman, Apothecary Biologist. I think that we have too many Scout, Sniper, and Infiltrators. They are very cute. If we want more mission play, though, I don't think we want that many, because all of this stuff, this Infiltrators and Scout Snipers, all is trying to find a point and never move. That doesn't actually help mission play that much. You just have this stuff in a couple more spots. You don't need 6 of those. Regular Scouts will help a lot more here, because they can do the up-down like a Callous Assassin every turn.
Every turn.
Every turn, yeah. They just can be shot from 12 away, so you just need to hide them.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't... Like, 3 units of Scout Snipers isn't that useful into Desolators, because they're still going to shoot them. But, like, they're not going to shoot these Scout Snipers. They'll find something to shoot every turn.
Okay, so this right now is, with the Thunderfire Cannon, is 1585.
It's with the Thunderfire?
With the Thunderfire.
Nice. Okay. The Thunderfire can stay for now. I do like Thunderfires, even though I don't love them. I think we are minimum killing 1 each Infiltrator and Scout Sniper. Yeah. Minimum 1 each of those is gone.
There's just too much nonsense in this list. We need...
Yeah, Marines need to hit hard. That's the whole point.
Yeah. If you sit around doing nothing, your opponent will walk right up to you and kill you.
Have we already added the 6 Aggressors that are inevitably going in here? We
haven't, but just say the word.
Alright, cool. 6 Aggressors with Bolt Storm. Let me explain the combo. The Apothecary Biologist gives lethal hits to a unit. He carries Bolter Discipline that gives sustained hits to a unit. Good thing to stack. Really likes rerolling hits. Fun fact, Space Marines can do that. Then, from that point, you have this glorious unit of Aggressors that gets sustained hits on, or gets critical hits on 5s when in Dev Doctrine, thanks to the Apothecary Biologist. You do want this unit to be alive, so it's probably going to start in Reserves or Transport. I'm going to vote for Transport in a second.
Yeah.
But you can just call Dev Doctrine on the turn it gets out so that it doesn't have to spend that CP. And then it gets out, spends command points, and it gets the +1 AP ignore cover. Now that unit also gets +1 AP when targeting the closest target. That's quite good.
Yes.
I'm even going to advocate for a Hail Strike over the Thunder Strike, because you don't need +1 wound when you're mostly fishing for like lethal hits on 5s.
Yes, this unit will kill basically anything you pointed at.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up.
It'll kill a lot of things.
Lethal, sustained, full rerolls on both with 1,000,000 shots at AP 2, ignores cover, damage 1, will just rip through people.
Yep.
Faster than you think it will, trust me. Alright, so Hail Strike just tells it to ignore cover?
No, it gives +1 AP. Because you can get, you can get ignore cover with 1 CP anyways.
That's fair, yeah.
I think that's 150?
It's less. I think it's 135.
Oh, is it really? That's nice.
I'm going to look it up.
You can search it if you want.
I could, but I'm already most of the way there. Alright, Storm Spear Hail Strike is 130.
130? That's quite reasonable.
Yes.
Alright. So we've got a decent amount of points to play with still. I do want to transport for Aggressors. There are 2 options. The Land Raider Redeemer is hilarious. However, the generic Repulsor is also quite good here.
I like the generic Repulsor quite a lot. It's also absolutely brutal into Custodes.
It is.
You get out, you shoot, they charge you back, you hop back in the Repulsor.
Yeah.
And then you hop back out and kill them again.
Let's just confirm the points cost of the Repulsor.
I think it's not expensive.
I'm actually mostly looking, while I'm saying that, I'm mostly looking to confirm the transport capacity of a Repulsor.
It's 195 for a repulsor.
I have this fear that it might accidentally be 12.
No.
I don't know. I just need to look.
Transport.
12.
12. So that means it does not work. You
So
could take a
later-
5-man aggressor, but that is pathetic.
Nah,
That's
absolutely not happening.
pathetic. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 6 Gravis things, so we're not getting that. Mm-hmm. You could
So
take the Land Raider Redeemer.
God, can we really fit 3 Redeemers into these 3 lists today?
I tried to do 4, but you wouldn't let me.
That's true. I genuinely think we're about to, for the record.
Yeah, that package is insane. It's 300 points of brutal shooting.
Yeah.
It's about 600 points, but it is gross. It does a ton of damage.
Yeah. And a Redeemer also actually does appreciate that Hail Strike sometimes.
Yeah, AP3, just
AP3,
whoosh, AP3 ignores
does
cover.
things.
Yeah, listen, you do not have to say twice. Listen, I saw that in Leshu's list, and I was like, I just want. You know what? Let's just go back over here and grab it right.
Just copy and paste.
There we go. No Thunderfire cannons being a thing. Okay. So now that we have a Land Raider Redeemer, God bless America, in the list, what are we doing other than this?
So we need to get some more damage output still.
Yes.
The aggressors are great, but they're short range damage.
They are. I want to do the same thing that basically he was doing and include a second unit of substance.
Yes. We can either get a variety of shooting units or another brick.
Honestly, I
don't
think
think
Gullman substitutes for the second push,
Yeah, I think he does.
so I think we just need shooting units.
Yes. I actually like the Lancers here because they give us some long range shooting. What's this
All right.
total sitting around?
This total right now, I believe, is 1905. Let me double check. Apothecary Biologist, Gullman, 6 Aggressors, Double Lancer, Inceptor, Double Infiltrator, Redeemer, Double Scout Sniper, Hail Strike, and a Thunderfire Cannon is 1905.
I think that Thunderfire can go first.
I agree. We're looking for more damage.
Yep.
This is not that. Bye-bye.
Cool. So then I think that one of these Scout Snipers can become a Scout. And it's just going to sit behind a wall.
And go up, down? Okay.
Yeah.
5 Scouts, 70 points, 75?
I think if we're trying, because we want to keep a good number of units in here for mission play.
Yes.
It should be 70 now instead of 75.
Okay.
Cool. And so that means that we have now bought ourselves to 1810, right?
That's correct. We have 190 points.
190 points can get a decent amount here.
Man, I wanted that repulsor. I wanted it to fit them.
really did
Really did.
too.
Really did.
Really did too.
Damn.
190 points.
There's not much we can do with that.
Yeah, I like the Inceptors. I would change them to Plasma personally, but I still like them. We could get some lone op business in here. Obviously, there's always the dip into agents, but I honestly don't think that this list actually needs agents.
I want a little bit more shooting, honestly.
I do as well. I'm trying to figure out what 190 points of guns gets me. Options that are good in Space Marines. The problem is that most Space Marine units want to have Bolter Discipline, and once they don't, they're no longer appealing. Like Stern Guard, appealing, not
Not if you don't have Bolter Discipline.
without a character
Yeah.
or a transport.
I do think the Aggressors are the best Bolter Discipline unit.
They are. It's them or Desolators. Those are the best two. I don't dislike having a unit of like Hellblasters in here, but
Hellblasters with double Oath are not bad.
yeah, getting Oath on them is always good.
Yeah. Eradicators are good. Chad has...
Yeah, 2 Eradicators could add a decent amount of guns. Just get some more rerolls in there.
Yeah. Repulsors are not bad. You need a unit for them. You want a unit for them. But, like...
Stern Guard or double... A 10-man Stern Guard or double Eradicator are the things that appeal here most.
We have 190. That feels to me like just double Eradicator.
Yeah, that's a good way to just get more
Just
gun
slots right in. Do we need the Hail Strike? Real talk. Does it do anything of substance here?
So the main thing I like the Hail Strike for is to get extra AP against a second target, because those 6 aggressors often overkill, but they're only good into Oath. That's my thought.
Yeah, but the Hail Strike doesn't actually... It's 130 points to give the Land Raider Redeemer plus 1 AP.
No, or the aggressors.
Or the Aggressors when you need
Yeah,
it.
and it's also just a deep striking unit. I've found the Hail Strike to be very generically good.
That's fair. I will say 6 Aggressors plus a Hail Strike can do 10 of the -1 damage Terminators.
Yeah.
It's pretty vicious.
It is quite vicious. It is a very good counter to Deathwing Knights. I personally like the Hail Strike. I've actually really enjoyed it every time I put it on the table.
Okay. So in that case, I think we just take 2 units of Eradicators.
Yeah, the chat is making a good point, or at least Brother Tobias is, that early Uriel Ventress does actually help here. Or Uriel Ventress lets you give 1 unit Deep Strike. So you could then theoretically Deep Strike the 6 aggressors. I have found Transport and Move is more effective than Deep Strike because it's just a little too easy to screen that out.
It is a lot cheaper. But the main problem is, can you attach an Apothecary Biologist with Uriel Ventress?
No, Uriel Ventress doesn't give his unit Deep Strike. He gives 1 unit Deep Strike. He's just a captain on foot who then picks someone else to Deep Strike because he's got fleet support. He just calls him the fleet.
That's not bad.
Let's pull up Uriel Ventress real quick. Let's just read this.
Because I'll be honest,
because he has to have a second.
Landed Redeemer's 300 points.
That could be cut, and I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
Let's look up Uriel Ventress here.
Plus, every Ultramarine player wants to use Uriel Ventress. Do not lie.
I do want an excuse to buy it.
Yes. You can target his unit with a stratagem unit if you already have, which it just doesn't make it free, but it
just gives you half of it. But you've got Goleman to make it
and
free.
you can use it even if you're battle shocked.
Oh, okay. So he's one of those.
Yep. And then during the declare battle formations, you can pick an Adeptus infantry unit against Deep Strike. I want that.
He's 90?
He's cheap as chips. He's 85.
Okay, so Uriel Ventress is not bad. He does have to have a friend to join, which he currently doesn't. But we could replace what I honestly think I would want here is that we replace that Redeemer unit with a full Hellblaster brick and Ventress.
Yeah.
And then give the aggressors Deep Strike.
Can we put that unit in a repulsor?
We genuinely might be able to fit that. Let's cut that Redeemer right now.
Okay.
And
grab Uriel Ventress. Yeah, go for it.
Cool. All right, let's get to this list. So we're adding Uriel Ventress. We've already got him in.
It also gives you a second unit to double up on the stratagem.
You also usually have enough CP with Goleman that's okay.
Yeah,
because you've made things free for so long.
Or you have double oath on a target, which is pretty nutty. So Uriel Ventress, legitimately with the aggressors and the Harm Assist,
actually
I think
work pretty good here.
It works very good. I
like that call.
Yes.
Brother Tobias in the chat.
Brother Tobias. First off, super chat from Brother Tobias. €5 super chat. When it came up, I was cycling home ASAP. No faith in ye olde pod. I'll have you know it worked once, and that is 100%. Love the show. Much love. And then also, Brother Tobias himself pointed out that Uriel Ventress is an absolute Chad.
And also paints his Marines as 4th company, which I respect.
Which is Uriel Ventress?
It is, of course, Uriel Ventress' company.
Oh my god. So here's the thing. Uriel Ventress actually does make this work so well.
Yeah, I like this a lot, actually. Yeah. So we've got... So right now we're at... I'm just going to go add the Repulsor, and then we're going to look at the points afterwards, because I think we're going to be a little over, but I do want it.
Repulsor good. Like, legitimately, a Repulsor is good.
All right, yeah. So let me just read you. Let me just sing you the song of 2045. Apothecary Biologist with Bolter Discipline.
Yeah.
Goleman.
Yeah.
Uriel Ventress.
Yeah. Love that.
6 aggressors.
Yep.
2 Gladiator Lancers. 1 10-man Hellblaster. 1 Inceptor.
I'm just gonna get started on putting that in the list, by the way.
Okay. 2 Infiltrators. Repulsor. Scout Sniper. Scout. Storm Speeder. Hailstrike. We need to find 45 points here.
That is almost certainly a Hail Strike in my mind.
Oh, I was honestly thinking about what we could do with Lancers instead. Because we are...
God, this gets a Repulsor in the list?
There's a Repulsor in this list.
Oh, I just want to play with a Repulsor. They're so cool.
They are very cool. I think we have one of those. I think I need to build that.
How many points is it? 195?
195.
So is this the list? This is 240?
That's 2045. So we could cut a Scout Sniper squad and then have 30 points left, which doesn't do a single dang thing.
Not a thing.
Or we could downgrade those Inceptors, which is what I'm about to vote for, to a second Scout squad. That's 45 points. I don't want to cut the Hail Strike. The Repulsor actually likes the Hail Strike as well. We are now up to more units that like Hail Strikes. I'm just saying, we are...
130 points.
It's good. 130 is great.
It's fine.
I was about to pay 150 for it. Like, if you had told me 150, I wouldn't even blink. I would have said, yeah, toss it in. 130. It's a lot of shots. It deep strikes. It's still a land speed or toughness. It's not just fragile. It has some random dev wounds to chip in it, and +1 AP makes so many units in this list sing. It just does. Because anything can get +1 staple onto it with a strat. One thing. Okay, now we're going to have Golem make a second unit get +1 AP. That's cool. Now we're going to have Earl of Ventress make a third unit get +1 AP. And one of those things is getting another +1 AP. Like, let's just focus something.
What do Gladiator Reapers do?
More with +2 AP. Thanks for asking.
That I'm saying, if we're leaning into it, what do Gladiator Reapers do?
Yeah. They are unfortunately a lot less shots than before because a lot of their guns went from shots to twin linked in half.
Well, that's unfortunate.
It is a little unfortunate, not gonna lie, because yeah.
I don't know. Every time I've shot or seen a Lancer shoot, it has done like far less than it should.
I am generically okay if the Lancers are what gets caught here. To be clear, yeah, that's all right.
Same.
I
would also play this list. This list seems sweet.
Let me just pull up a Reaper real quick, just to kind of have. So the Reaper has many ranged weapons. It has the Icarus, the Iron Hail, and then the 2 Tempest Bolters, as you expect. So there's a bucket of shots there. The Onslaught Gatling Cannon is now 601 Dev Wounds Twin Linked. So you could potentially get it to more than that.
How many shots?
12.
It's alright.
It's alright. It also lost range. I don't think the Reaper's very good.
No, I don't think the Reaper's very good at all.
So let's cut that Reaper. What if we cut both Gladiator Lancers for 2 Eradicators and see 2 Eradicator units and see what those points give us? I do worry that it makes the Repulsor be the only tank in the list, but we can make it. We can work with it still.
I worry about Eradicators because every time I shoot with them, I get 0 wounds because I have to wound on 5s.
Pathetic.
Yeah. Every time they shoot at me, they get 3 wounds. Every time I shoot with them, I roll 0 5-ups.
I get it. That is the main appeal of the Lancers to me, is that they do consistently put some wounds down.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we don't have a lieutenant. I'm kind of fine without a lieutenant. I don't think there's a unit here that needs a lieutenant. Yeah, Hellblasters, don't mind it, but I think Ventress is going in.
Yeah, I like Ventress with the Hellblasters, and then you make the aggressors Deep Strike, and I think that's pretty good.
The reason I haven't pitched a Scout Squad into an Exaction is because we would still be 5 points over.
Your Ventress cannot join Hellblasters.
What a jerk. So, Sternguard.
I guess it is just Sternguard.
Yeah, just find out what he... Let's just look at what he can join.
So, let's go...
Because I'm good for 10 Sternguard, too.
Okay. Leader, he can join Sternguard. That's it.
That's
Assault Intercessors and Intercessors. Okay,
Sternguard is where he goes.
Actually, Control Z, and then it's just going to...
Do Sternguards really justify Hellblaster? Or a Repulsor?
Yeah. Why not?
Do they? Because they... It's not bad, but...
I like it also because it's a decent shooting platform, and it also brutally punishes melee armies. Because you run up to exactly range, you shoot them a bunch, they charge you, you hop back in the repulsor, you hop back out, and you shoot them again.
Yeah,
it's misery. So Hellblasters are leaving immediately.
I like the Hellblasters.
I like them too, but if Mr. Ventress...
okay.
Are you thinking yes? Like you're thinking multiples?
Of Sternguard?
No, like Sternguard and...
No. I was thinking that Ventress just doesn't join the Hellblasters. We move on with our lives. I'm not gonna lie there.
I do like how much cheaper Sternguard are.
Yeah, 40 points. We're now only 5 over. I feel like Ventress doesn't do anything here besides the Deep Strike. Because there's no extra strat that the Sternguard want to have.
What about the ignores cover extra AP?
It's not bad, but they're Sternguard or a Dev Wound unit. Because they're not going for really AP here.
They do have a bunch of shots, right?
Yeah, but you either do 20 shots, in either way this is 12-inch range. Either 20 shots at anti-infantry 4 plus not assault, or 30 shots at +1 AP and not anti-infantry. Because I was thinking just going to be 10 Sternguard with 8 combi weapons. Those are anti-infantry 4 plus dev wounds. They don't care about ignore cover or anything else. They're just dropping mortals on someone. They don't need strats.
That's fair.
It's like, they don't need strats. Then Ventress is just a deep strike caddy, which I don't mind, but...
I want him in a unit.
But, do you? What is he given to the unit?
The ability to use a strat again? Yeah. I don't know. You can move whenever
if you go the rifles over the combis, then the ignore cover and AP does actually add up a little bit. Could we add a lieutenant in there as well? Well, I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either. I mean, luckily we're only 5 over here. What I feel like this is, you know, some of this gets cut, and we could try and get a 3rd shooting unit in.
Yeah. I mean, I personally am totally fine cutting gladiators for, just cutting some gladiators to put in, like, eradicators and then have points. Because we get 100 points by replacing 2 lancers with 6 eradicators.
What can Hellblasters go in?
They're a 10-man. They can go in...
We have a lot from Brother Tobias here, who is the Euroventress expert.
Absolutely.
So if you go rifles over combis, it's worth it. And then also, they're in his list for the open tomorrow. So, like the first unit I cut, maybe. You know, Sternguard have 4 attacks per model. They actually slap with Lance.
Yep, I like Sternguard a lot for a multitude of reasons. If we do Sternguard with rifles and we put Ventress in it, I'm good for that. That's 5 points over, which can be easily solved by replacing scout snipers with snipers, or by that's one of the ways to do it, or by replacing scout snipers with 2 exactions.
Yeah, I'm also super down to just take 10 Hellblasters.
Mm-hmm. Just no character and just call it a day.
Just 10 Hellblasters, no character.
Yeah, you could put a lieutenant in there if you wanted, but it's not necessary. It's lethal hits, which is cool.
Yeah, or an apothecary to get guys back, but probably not.
No.
So what are we looking to cut here to get this list legal real fast?
Right now, this is 2005, so we just have to cut 5 points. The easiest way in my mind is a scout sniper unit becomes something else.
Okay, so you're thinking... I honestly think what I would do here is I would just delete both of these and get a squad of infiltrators. You save some points, and you just tell people, stop trying to be weird.
Yep. You do lose a little bit of the up-down, but that's not necessarily bad, as long as you can have other things in... I want something in reserves, or something that can up-down besides the Inceptors.
Let's see what this gets us.
You don't want to spend 115 points to shove the Inceptors in.
So...
We could definitely get an exaction squad with that. I don't think we can get 2, though.
Let's see where this leaves us. So, triple infiltrator, aggressors, repulsor. This does not have Sternguard in it yet?
No, because we cut the Hellblasters for 10 Sternguard.
Yes.
With Sternguard, I tend to favor having the bolt rifle instead of the combat weapon, because it's better into everything that's not infantry. And generally, we can probably already kill infantry with this list. And then it's also inherently assault, so you don't always have to spend CP to zip around and do things.
Yeah.
This is 1950.
This is 1950. As it stands right now, I don't really know what I would cut. Personally, I think the way I would round out the list myself would be the Hail Strike becomes a Lancer and Exactions.
A 3rd Lancer. Jack Harpster.
I don't like the Hail Strike. I don't like the Lancer. I like the Hail Strike a little bit less. It just feels like it's too many points to be a buff.
Well,
but
put it in a Lancer.
No. You know what?
No, I'm down for it. Put in the Lancer. Put an Exaction squad in. 2K on the dot. Look at this. Jack Harpster adding Lancers to lists.
I don't like this. I don't like this. This feels bad. Whee.
Yep. Love that we just get to doop. That looks like 2K right there.
Yeah, unsold on the Lancers. Well, what would you do, top of your head? You have a couple minutes to just be like, what would you do here as the Ultras expert?
I genuinely was going to try to cut all the Lancers for Eradicators and more points to get another unit in.
Big sold. Done.
Okay, please put the Hail Strike back.
Okay.
I really like Hail Strikes.
Fine, the Hail Strike's back in.
Like, I just like the Hail Strike. It always does work for me. Cool. So we put a Hail Strike in.
Get rid of the Exactions, because we can put them back in.
Yeah, they'll be back in shortly, honestly. But
I will tell you how much this list is. Do you want the triple infiltrator?
I like triple infiltrator. I'm totally down for. I really just want to add like
340 points.
Yeah, so let's put 2 Eradicators and it's 190. I mean, we're already forcing screens and let's just attack from multiple angles with multiple things here. 95.
95?
Yep. 2 of those bad boys.
Okay.
Did you already put them in here? Or do you want me to put them here?
Yeah, I'll put the Eradicators in. I'll tell you. Oh, did you do it already?
I was about to, but I hadn't yet.
Eradicators.
Your disdain for the search function pains me.
150.
Okay, so 150 left.
150 left.
We could easily get a Phobos Librarian and a Scout unit.
Okay.
Just to get one of those infiltrators harder to shoot by lone op, and then have an up-down off of the Scouts. That's kind of what I'm in favor of.
Okay, so where does that leave us?
So a Phobos Librarian I think is 75. Do we need 4 characters? Honestly, we'd axe that. We're not going to put a Phobos Librarian in.
Bye.
I think it's a, if we're trying to keep the trash count up here, we could just put in a Scout Squad and,
Just a regular Scout Squad?
just a regular Scout Squad. Because it's 70 points and we have 80 left, and then we get our choice of like a Scout Sniper or something else, or we get 2 Exactions.
Or we get 2 Scout Snipers.
Or we get 2 Scout Snipers.
And we end up right back at where the list originally was, I guess.
Madness. I would take the Phobos Librarian before the next Scout Sniper Squad, honestly, before second one.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yep. So 1 Scout Squad for a little bit of up-down action I really like. 80 points left.
They do that every turn?
Every turn.
So every turn at the end of your opponent's turn, you can pick
You
them
just
up.
pull them and just say, let's find out if I draw a card that makes me want to send them.
Seems good.
Yeah. I think with 80 points, it probably is a Phobos Libby. Just preserve an Infiltrator Squad on objective. Just really make that unapproachable. So yeah, I think it is a Phobos Libby, which should be 75.
Can you get the thing that lets you move 6 every turn?
We do not have enough points for that, unfortunately.
How many points is the Phobos Librarian?
75, I think. Phobos. Come on. 75. There we go. And then, yeah, that and the Scout unit puts us at 1995, and I don't think we are fitting anything else there.
Yeah.
So that's 1995. You could totally replace 5 Scouts with 5 Sniper Scouts if you want the no-shoot, but I personally like having the up-down a lot.
And just for mission play?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a completely different list, but I actually like this.
And also...
Also, there's a repulsor.
I'm also pretty sure that Brother Tobias is into this.
Yeah,
so,
Brother Tobias likes it.
Yeah, if Brother Tobias likes it, I like
That
it
is
for
what
sure.
matters. Yeah, this is what I think I want.
Okay.
Same Phobos Libby. All right. Yeah, 1995. I think it's the list.
I like it. I like it very much. All right, so I think that is it for us for today. We ran a little bit over on time, but we had to fix those lists.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you are curious as to how you can get your list fixed, again, you join thewarroom.vhx.tv. There's a link down in the description below. And there's a 3-day free trial. You can get your list into the Fix My List submissions channel in our Discord. And post it up there. And it'll be, I troll through and pick 3 every week.
Absolutely.
To fix.
So just get into that Discord by either becoming a member of the War Room or by becoming a member of our YouTube channel here. Of course, like, share, subscribe, all that support means the world to us. It really helps us grow this channel, keep things going, and we appreciate all of you who hung out with us for Fix My List Space Marines. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.